Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Rachel Dahl joins us. She's publisher of Fallon Media. She's got some exciting news here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Pro Group Management offers workers' comp services to a growing number of industries. As businesses grow and change with the times, the need for a solid workers' comp program must be flexible and up-to-date. The evolving nature of regulations can make staying ahead of complex tasks challenging. But Pro Group Management simplifies the work so your industry can move forward and succeed. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org. Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
It's a good time to eat. It's a good time to play.
It's a good time to win.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always pleased to welcome back to the program Rachel Dahl. She is the publisher of so many things, and she heads up Fallon Media. Pleasure to have you back on the program.
Thank you.
So social media,
Yes.
this weapon, this destroyer of lives, this crazy thing. You know, I post all our shows. I have a person who actually works with me on social media, does a fabulous job. And we're everywhere with social media. We post these relevant shows about important issues, and a tiny percentage of people like them. I post a picture of a dog. Quite a few people like those.
Yeah.
I post a picture of something I cooked,
Yes.
a dessert, and people go bonkers.
Like,
so Rachel,
please bring the recipe.
Yes, Rachel, here is the recipe for the cake that I made this weekend
Thank
that you
you.
requested on Facebook, just proving what
That's
an important.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think this says some good things about humanity.
Yeah.
That people really are normal about, you know, the serious things in life, and crazy about the things we indulge in, like
Right.
cake
And kittens.
and kittens.
We got more hits on the office cat Buckley than anything we've done in the past couple of months.
All right, lead off. How many different publications are you running now? And save the magazine for the last. I'll talk about that.
Okay, so 3 print newspapers: the Fallon Post, the Pershing Post, the Fernley Reporter, and then the online rural newspaper, the Silver State Chronicle.
And how they doing?
Magazine. Good. We're really trying to beef up the stories on Silver State Chronicle, and then we're going to do a push for subscriptions on that in the next couple of weeks. We really want to stack the stories in there first.
Okay, what kind of support are you getting? Financially,
Oh,
like advertisers.
our advertising is good. It's going really well. I think people see that we've been around and we're going to be here, and I feel like that's a confidence thing that's been really good for us. So advertising just keeps growing. I think the whole being everywhere is the biggest help, because I'll go to a meeting and meet someone, and then a couple weeks later they call and want an ad, which is the coolest it's very organic. Going out and visiting people and asking them if they've seen the paper and leaving a rate sheet works as well, but being in places and listening to what's going on maybe triggers people, because that's been our best payoff.
All right, so I'm going to step on a minefield here.
Oh dear.
Hold my hand.
Okay.
Public radio, public television,
Yeah.
in somewhat of a public crisis, not necessarily a private crisis, over the Corporation for Public Broadcasting's funding being cut. Your thoughts on this?
Oh, gosh.
Because they show, as a nonprofit, and they are in some areas. In other areas like podcasts, they sell commercials.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. Let's run diagonally. Didn't they describe how to do through a minefield once on a movie? I don't know. Just because of what we're doing, the nature of what we're doing and how hard it is to sell ads, I look at it from that standpoint. But I grew up watching the fundraising for public television. I grew up watching Sesame Street, and I know that that's an important part of our society and our structure. But I personally think that news I'm a believer in the market system, and I believe that what we're doing in the market is important, and making sure that, like, our model seems to be working, and you always remind me of that. Like, if you are providing to your community what they need and what they want to see, they're going to support you and help you pay for it. And so the public television and radio structure, to me, just lucky them for so long, and now they're looking at what we've been looking at, I think.
Well, they have to, and I think it's only right.
Yeah.
It's been frustrating for me forever, and this is no offense to anybody who works in public radio or television.
Yeah.
They have adopted the model that's been there forever.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be great if the government gave me $100,000 a year as part of the sponsorship of Nevada Newsmakers.
Yeah.
That would be fabulous. I wouldn't change the content of the program, but I'd certainly accept the cash.
Right.
But on the other hand, and I know you've been in the same boat, and I joke about this all the time, but over the last 23 years, I've mortgaged my house 3 times to keep this program on the air.
Yeah.
I mean, if you believe, and if the product is good enough, then, you do whatever's necessary to make that work, right?
Yeah.
The other thing is that I think that the quality programming that exists on public radio and television will exist no matter whether they exist or not.
Yeah.
Because Big Bird is on Netflix now.
Right.
So it's not like their best quality programs, their Novas, the other Gilded Age, whatever, are not going to be picked up by Netflix or YouTube or Apple or any of these other corporations.
Yeah.
What do you
You think, how I feel about bias in the news, and
Yes.
how adamant I am, and we have this conversation at staff meetings all the time, because people come on board, and it's a really radical concept that there is no bias at the Fallon Post. Like, it's the facts. We are objective about what we're doing, and that matters to me so much. And people don't believe that that's a thing. And so I have a tendency to look at public radio and public television as highly biased. And that's where you start. By choosing a bias, you're taking the side of a market area. And so now you're marketing to the people who see the world that way. The dangerous thing we've done, which I think is going to pay off in the end, I've seen it, is we exist, and I believe that it's our job to bring information. And that's the value in what we're doing, I think. And so I think that's been paying off for us, because as people see that we've been able to do that, for the most part, I think that they really have become believers in that. So I don't know if that's answering your question at all, but I think that we have to be really aware that there is a bias in public television and public radio.
And let's separate, if we can, from the local to the national.
Yeah.
I think the bias has been there in the national. In fact, to be honest, I stopped listening to it. I used to be a big fan of NPR, and I would listen to the All Things Considered and Morning Edition on a regular basis. And just over time, it just got to be more and more, I'd really rather use the word elitist.
I think that's probably more accurate too. I agree.
But
It's not this way. It's this way.
Right. But the local, is doing their best because the funding is not there for the local programming as much. And there are people that are doing really good work trying to make that happen, coordinating between different station groups. So, I'm not trying to burn the locals at all.
I love our local stations because like Brian will come and he'll participate in.
So that's Brian Duggan.
And we have this really cool group in Northern Nevada. The university has kind of loosely put us together to how do you save local news, and Brian participates in that all the time, and it's so appreciated because he's got chops.
Right. Well, and yes, he's a total professional. He used to be the editor of the Reno Gazette Journal, and has brought that knowledge with him to public radio, and is doing his best under very difficult circumstances. I just think that reality strikes, and you have to go out and sell commercials. And Joe Rogan is the perfect example of somebody that has commercials in his program. The programs run 3 hours long, and 17 million people listen to his show.
I know, I love
17.
I watch those guys, those big guys, and I'm just like, oh, wouldn't that be amazing?
Stephen Colbert, 2.5 million.
It's crazy.
Joe Rogan, 17 million.
Yeah.
Tells you something. And they're selling, and both are selling commercials.
Yeah.
And I think, there was a very interesting piece in the Las Vegas Review-Journal, a commentary on late night and what would Johnny Carson think. And it talked about how Johnny Carson was funny.
Yeah.
And attentive to his guests and listening to the guests. And even though he joked about the presidents and the Congress, it was funny.
Yeah.
It wasn't this, and I think people have gotten turned off to this.
Don't you feel like Johnny Carson was more like social commentary looking at us, and these late night guys are more social commentary looking at them. Like it's a very, I think that I don't love this term othering, but you're making bad guys out of someone. And Johnny Carson would poke fun at us as a society or us as a country rather than, oh, they.
I want to bring back Johnny Carson and Don Rickles. we need both. Let's take a break more with Rachel Dahl after this time out.
Rev it up during the $250,000 Cash and Wheels Guaranteed giveaways at Carson Valley Inn. Thousands in cash and free play every Thursday and Saturday. Drive away with a 2025 Ford Bronco or $45,000 guaranteed. Rev it up at the Carson Valley Inn.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Rachel Dahl. She's the publisher of Fallon Media, which is a conglomerate. It has become a conglomerate, and I am so delighted about that. Okay, something extraordinary happened when the latest edition of Range magazine, the Cowboy Spirit on America's Outback, the fall edition 2025, landed in my mailbox. And there is C.J. Hadley's usual front piece. She's been doing this, 34 years?
31?
It's up
91.
There. Yeah, since the early 1800s.
Yeah.
It's called Up Front, and she talks about the big loop and the relic and what she's doing. And I've been a subscriber since day one, is handing over the reins of publisher to you. Yeah. First of all, how did that happen? Second of all, what is the weight of that responsibility? And aren't you amazed that she's letting you do this?
I'm amazed. I'm totally amazed. When I was a little girl, C.J. Hadley was doing Nevada Magazine, and she came out to our place on Swingle Bench. My dad was a horse trader in Cowboy.
Where's Swingle Bench?
In Fallon. It's just on this side of Fallon. And that was where we were living when I was a little kid. We had 10-acre place, and my dad always had horses. And she came and did a story on him being a horse trader. And so there's this really cute picture of one of my sisters on his lap in his cowboy hat. And it's this neat story about buckarooing and training horses. And so I've always just been in awe of C.J. Hadley. And so when I was younger, isn't that a funny thing to say? I wanted to be a writer, so I wanted to write. And so I was really chicken, and I called her one day and I asked her if she would give me advice on being a freelance magazine reporter, and could I please write a story for Range magazine. And she was awesome. She asked me to come to Carson and meet her. She has stayed in contact with my family, and she and Dimar are pretty close. He's been a big supporter of the magazine. And so I went there and met her, and I was just like starstruck. And that woman made me an incredible writer. She is really tough. She is relentlessly demanding. She will curse at you on the phone regularly.
Or in public.
And there was a lot of cursing and banging of phones, and it took me a year I blew through 3 deadlines trying to get this article done for her. And the coolest moment of my writing life was I just took a big deep breath and I hit send, and I sent this story that she had just beat to hell for months and just kind of sat there waiting. And she wrote me back an email, and it said, "Brilliant," with a bunch of exclamation marks. And it was the best moment of my life. And so through that, we developed a really good friendship, and she had me write a lot for the magazine over the years. And she had been trying to sell it for about 3 years and had a couple deals put together that fell through. If you know CJ.
Yes, I can imagine how that could happen.
This is her baby. This is her. She hates it when I say her legacy, but it is what this woman has created, and the people. The Range magazine base is so cool. We've gotten to know them because they call the office all the time. We've been moving the Carson office to Fallon since April. It's been this insane process. So I was going up there several days a week, getting the lay of the land, and would answer the phone and talk to people. And they are so loyal to her, and they love her so much. And so as we've gotten to know them, I feel like some of that confidence is transferring, and we're taking over the back end, the management of it, and then she'll stay on with us for a year. And then next edition, some of my staff is writing for the winter edition, and then the spring edition, she'll take Leanna under her wing and start teaching Leanna to be the editor. But we have no plans to let her go. I told her, you can't leave. So.
Well, there's only one way she'll leave.
Right.
And we don't have to go into descriptions of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, she was willing to give up everything except her house. Even gave up her car. To keep this thing going.
2 Cadillacs.
Yeah, and you know, I understand, because Newsmakers has been the same kind of project for me, but she has done such a national quality, international quality magazine. The photography, she as a photographer is outstanding. So I got to share my favorite story of going with her on a photography assignment. My wife and I went with her to cow pasture boxing in Gardnerville many years ago. And it was outside of Sharkey's, right? And so we're and they've got it all set up nicely. There's a ring in the middle, there's seating all the way around. And my wife and I are comfortable, and CJ comes over and says, come down to the front with me. I'm going to take pictures. So I go, and she is an unbelievable photographer. World class does not describe how great she is as a photographer. So we go down, and I'm ringside with her, and she's taking photos, and I suddenly realize that we are all being hit with blood from these boxers who are just hitting the heck out of each other.
Oh, no.
And I said to CJ, I'm getting covered in blood here. And she didn't say anything. She just kept taking pictures. And I said, I'm going back to my seat now. CJ will do what is ever necessary to get that photograph.
It's amazing. She gave us, have you been in that Carson office?
Yes.
And all the photographs that she's, from all of her travels with National Geographic, and those were hanging on the wall, they are in the Fallon office now. We got those.
Amazing. Yeah. All right, let's take another break. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Meet Nevada Health Link, Nevada's official health insurance marketplace. Your link to savings, selection, free assistance, and name brand health insurance, where 90% of enrollees lower the cost of their monthly premium. Everyone deserves access to quality health coverage, no matter your income or family size. Visit NevadaHealthLink.com. A few minutes could save you hundreds of dollars per month.
Nevada Health Link. Our plans are made for your plans.
You're in trouble with the law. It's easy to think you'll lose everything, but there is hope. I'm Attorney Orrin Johnson. Your first step is to hire a serious attorney with the experience to successfully navigate the legal system for you.
Sometimes hope means addiction treatment instead of jail, and making sure you're treated fairly.
Sometimes hope means fearless trial attorneys will stand up to the government when they get it wrong. Call or text Orrin Johnson Law.
We'll make a plan.
You'll take back your life.
A power line is more than a power line. It's maintaining the bottom line for small businesses. It's keeping the assembly line moving for our workforce. For our brightest minds, it's meeting a deadline. It's on the front line with our heroes. And on the sidelines of the biggest games. It's a direct line to our loved ones. And it's a lifeline for the most vulnerable. There's a lot on the line.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain, moving 95% of our freight in the Silver State. And while essential, the road isn't always smooth. Supply chain disruptions, rising fuel costs, and unrealistic rules and laws that hamper our ability to serve our customers and country. Our prosperity and every sector of the economy, manufacturing, mining, medicine, and food from farm to table, is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Rachel Dahl. She's the publisher of Fallon Media, a whole range of publications, and just taking on Range Magazine, which is an interesting combination of wonderful photography of all kind about ranch land and farmers, and not the giant conglomerates, but the individual people and stories about those people. And I'm reading Dale Urquiargu's book.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a wonderful read as well, because you really start to understand what it took for people to come out to places like Nevada and rural Nevada and exist, and where going to Austin was going to town.
Right.
And you went 2 or 3 times a year because it was such a long journey. And CJ has just been the biggest supporter through Range Magazine of these folks.
Yeah.
And the magazine is split between wonderful stories and wonderful pictures of these folks, and then also the political side, because there is a huge political side to agriculture. And, sometimes it makes me happy and sometimes I'm like, but every time it comes up for subscription, I just, whatever the largest amount of subscription I can do, I do.
Thank you.
And as I say, I've been doing it for over 30 years now.
That's awesome.
CJ Hadley is one of the greats of the newspaper industry, and she also worked for Car and Driver.
Yeah. I know. It was so funny. And we have inherited some of the things from the 70s. The subscription fulfillment system that she has been using, she's had since 1975. So there's going to be some modernization, and there's been some tears shed on both of our parts over that. But yeah, she's bona fide. She comes from that world. She worked in New York. She started as a typist in New York City and came out here and made a success of Nevada Magazine, and then did this.
And Silver and Blue for the university.
And Silver and Blue, yeah. She's an institution.
Yeah, well, she and I are both, people that were considered worthless losers in our home country of England, and came to America and struck out. And it says something about immigrants and what we feel about this country and how much work we're prepared to put into it. Well, congratulations. I think it's a huge deal. And I wish you continued success with all of your publications.
Thank
you.
I'm
a big supporter.
I appreciate it.
And we'll be right back.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience.
Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers. You can always watch our shows anytime on the website at nevadanewsmakers.com or the podcast. We have audio and video podcasts from all your favorite podcast locations and YouTube. Find us everywhere. We'll see you on the next broadcast. Thanks for watching.